Ellis, how do you think Robenson played overall? And once Justin Garrett comes back, is there any situation in your base where Justin and Robenson could be on the field at the same time, or is that just not?
Could be. We're probably not at a point of figuring something like that right now. We just like to get him healthy. It's been frustrating. You know, we talked about the player being one of our most dynamic players in the spring, and there's no production on the game field. And it's been going on for 2 years now. So we just like to get him healthy and get him on the field and find out if he can play. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. You know, I thought Robinson played outstanding. You know, he is really, it's taken him a while to get comfortable out there at the position. No question about it, the style of game that they were playing played to his strength. He's a better cover guy of the two. Justin's a better blitzer, a little bit better probably run support, but probably just about the same in zone coverage. But the high percentage of man-to-man we played, I could have seen probably Robinson playing more whether Justin was healthy or not.
Ellis, can you talk about how big of a confidence boost it had to be for the secondary to get those interceptions after that's all they heard about during the offseason? Was the lack of them last year?
I would have to think it was. You know, they could have had even more. You know, they're in the frame of mind now, not frustrated they didn't get any. They're frustrated they didn't get more, which is that's the way you want them. And I thought sometimes the pressure on the quarterback caused some throws. So it all goes hand in hand. But I was real proud of them. We put a lot of pressure on them with the amount of man coverage we made them play. And it should help. I don't know that we'll play that volume of man coverage again this year, but if we do, they certainly know in their mind they can do it. They're confident they can do it.
Ellis, what do you think about the impact that the freshmen actually made? Gus made the point after they provided the spark, the Adams and Carl, when they got in there, you could see a difference. You could see a little bit more pressure just from the start. So what
as soon as Montravius came in there, I mean, he was in the backfield. You know, he just grabbed you, and we hadn't had much of that the whole time. Carl and them struggled a little bit more with twists and assignments, but physically they did. They showed up. Elijah had a little bit tougher time, and didn't probably have as good a practice preparation as Carl, but they did. When they get on the field, they look like they belong on the field. And they're 18-year-old freshmen, but playing in the SEC, but they look like they fit right in. As time goes on, they get more comfortable in our scheme, start eliminating the mental errors. I think it'll really be a lot better and it'll be more contribution. But I think I looked on the field one time with 5 freshmen out there at one time.
Ellis, did you
McKenzie
see
was out there, the 2 ends, Montravius, and somebody else can't think who it was right now. The 3 front people, and McKenzie was out there at star.
Did you see a difference at practice today, but as a result of winning the game?
I don't know, because if you're asking a difference in what they've been like in the past, of course I wouldn't hear. But it didn't seem to be a lot different than they've been the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've sort of bought into what we've been doing since the time we got here. They've all been, positive about the response to anything we changed and want it done differently. And change is always hard. I've been through it now, I think about 9 times, well, more than that, in 34 years. It's hard on players, it really is, even when you have success. But I think the attitude's been good the whole time. I think the question is, what would it have been like had we not held up our end of the bargain and would have come in with one more frustrating loss? That was the most important thing that happened, in my opinion, the whole night, is that when we had a chance to slip, we did it. They stood right in there and played hard and finished the game and got it done. And obviously they'd had a problem doing that in the past.
So this is a game with Arkansas State, as much as they run it, that you can maybe put a guy like Kyle Frazier out there a little bit more with his big body.
Kyle's problem is he kind of leveled off on the learning curve.
Yeah.
And it went well for the first 2 or 3 days. Sometimes when they come over there and they're brand new, you're really surprised how quickly they pick up a few things, but then all of a sudden it leveled off. And frankly, he struggled the last week with our scheme. Right now, he's not comfortable where to line up and what to do. It's not a physical issue. He's shown in some drills and in a couple of scrimmages he can tackle when he gets in the right place. But right now, it's not coming too clearly for him. Hopefully another week of practice, and that light will turn on and he'll get better.
What have you seen from J.D. McKissick? They're one of their receivers, Arkansas State, number 23.
Yeah, it's extremely fast. Like I said, I think they've got 3 players that can run with anybody on our team. The system gives them a chance to get in space and use their speed. He can really run.
Gus, I'm sorry, Ellis. Their quarterback was saying you guys play the deepest safety he's ever thrown against.
couple of downs we did, but actually we tightened them down on a man under with 2 deep and played them a little more aggressively. But it could have been certain down and distances where they were a little deeper. He threw a few balls where he was scrambling, that threw across his body. And I don't know, maybe he felt like they were deep there. A lot of people teach quarterbacks to throw the ball downfield on scrambles against man coverage, because normally the receiver is going to be a little more comfortable in that situation than the defender. They're used to catching those high balls and scramble balls. So, I mean, a lot of times they teach them to do that, but our kids really did a good job of staying in coverage and staying back when they had deep zone over the top, or staying with their man when they had man-to-man. And that's not where we got our picks, except for one of them, but we dropped 2 others that we should have had, you know, playing good discipline depth on those.
One more? Are you using, Rhett and Gus, their experience at Arkansas State, any in scheming to kind of get an understanding of the players and matchups?
Yeah, been very helpful this week. They obviously know the personnel. We had 7 coaches here that coached those guys last year, so we have very good familiarity with the personnel, and that helps. And then, you know, as we look at the tape, there's some variation of formations. Some of that comes from the fact that it's kind of a combination of Gus's offense and the head coach's offense, you know, merging together. It really presents some difficult problems. The other thing is that they have 2 really good tight ends, and we're more of a H-back. I call it H-back, roving, moving fullback. So there's a little bit different flavor in the formations that they do. But some of the run plays are the exact same run play, just out of a different set. So as we watched the game, you know, it was very good insight. But Coach Malzahn spent time with us, just kind of went through some things. And he knows the things that come off of what the plays that we did see, what the setup plays are, you know, that will probably come off of that, things we can work on that were not on film.
All right. Good. Appreciate it, Coach.